Hello guys and welcome to today's live coaching session for subscribers on Twitch and members on the YouTube channel only to see live. We are with Alay and we are at Baku in the Formula Pro car. And now of course we're gonna jump into the live coaching session. We are on the server already. Coaching is for 2 hours today and we're about to get going, so we're joining our customer in the voice chat, so you will be able to hear him as well. We wanted to meet at 9 PM. I think we can do so.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
How
are you?
Good, good.
I'm alright, thank you. So, you ready? You ready for the work?
Yep.
Right. So first of all, last time we've talked about the field of view. In the end, have you made changes to your field of view?
No.
Okay, so you kept it as it was.
Yes, I was messaging the guy who made the screen, and he may help me like with better. He just said he will send me some information, so I'm waiting on that.
Okay.
And then I will. If that is not enough, then I will just need to search more in terms of bigger screens with vertical field of view.
Yeah. Like maybe we can search on the web a little bit together in the aftermath to see if there's different kinds of screens that, or different kinds of calculators to look at. Because this, like, whenever I saw your Instagram stories, I was like, I'm not 100% sure if that field of view is correct. And just lately, I like, you remember when I said to, like, in Monza to stay all the way on the inside in turn 3, and you always kept like going a bit on the outside. And then I saw that field of view and I was like, maybe he isn't, like, maybe you have not the 100% correct perception of the corner, or how the track is like going to the right at this stage.
Yes. That's
so
one thing, and another big thing was shadows. Really, I never thought about it. It just makes a big difference.
Okay, so you've turned them off now, yeah?
Yep. They're off, and then we'll need to work on field of view too. I'm sure it will help.
Okay. How has further practice gone this week with the car?
It's good. I just did on our server the track there. It's like you on ice. So but it got better in terms of that corner. I'm just now seeing the apex, and it's kind of easily to hit. I think probably the next thing what I'm missing is if I can go on throttle earlier.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna work on that. So first of all, just as usual, get out of the garage, get your laps in. We're gonna refine a little bit the braking and the stuff. You've done that really well though up front anyway. So you just get your normal warm up in, and then we're gonna start the work on picking up the throttle maybe a bit earlier. Will also mean that you may have to change a little bit of how you approach the steering into the turns. Because if you want to go early on the throttle, your steering needs to be more straight and out of the turns in earlier stages. But we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah, guys, and with that,
and welcome. I don't know, that's probably wrong. Many corners I was doing on the second gear, and then I was kind of doing on the one. Just noticing that car rotates better.
I would agree that the car rotates better in one, but for the acceleration, you certainly want to be in second gear. So if you turn in to the apex in first, and then once you hit the apex, shift to second, and then start applying the throttle, I think that would be an opportunity to work around. But you should not try accelerating in first gear unless it's really long and not causing any wheel spin whatsoever. Alright guys, and with that, welcome to that live coaching session that is today exclusively for all subscribers on the Twitch channel and YouTube members, YouTube sponsors. Today we are coaching Alay, and Alay is working with me since a couple of weeks, literally every other Wednesday. Today we need to go on a Monday because this Wednesday there is this Mercedes ACC Championship starting off. And Alay has various type of areas where we can work in. We usually started on the braking, brake aggression, maximizing the brake opportunity of the car, driving lines. We also worked a little bit on coordination. So Alay had the issue, I'm not really sure if I want to call it an issue really, but Alay had the habit to either focus on the braking and then like just take the corner in any way, or he was like forgetting about the braking and just like slowly, very early braking to maximize the focus and turning in, hitting the driving line and so on. And a couple of weeks long I had the task really to combine these things, and I also told him to get and find some exercise and coordination, like doing something while having the mind shifted to do another thing. It was something very simple that we used to do in handball. So, you know, we had those strips of, I don't know, 15 rows, 3 quarters, 15 rows and 3 square cubes, and then you go in, out, in, out, in, out, and the first 2 or 3 times you go through that lane, focusing on your feet, and then you had the task to carry the ball, carry it right in ahead of your face, and like look at the ball and still do the in, out, in, out, in, out. So that way we were practicing shifting the focus, focusing on 2 things at the same time. So first you learned the rhythm with the feet, and once you had that in, you focused on something different while still doing the rhythm with your feet. And these kind of exercises I told him to have a look into, so that he can also improve his coordinative skills, because that will help him also focusing on braking, but at the same time while still being in what is for him a high focus intensity braking, to still focus on the entry, on the lining, on the turning, and so on. So that was an important part of the journey so far. Is the UI broken, or in most of the braking zone he doesn't fully release the throttle? The UI is sort of broken because that is the engine brake that is kinda displaying there. I have spoken to him that he shall completely release the throttle. He said he has worked on it, and from the way the car also behaves, I think like that he's doing that. Because it also happens in a harder braking zone, and I would need to see on my own. Could be the fact that he goes on throttle early to stabilize the car. So far, if that is him being able to get into the zone the best, then we just keep it at that. But I will certainly have to remind him a little on it. Let's have a focus. It happens as soon as he goes to the lower gear, so I'm pretty sure it is the engine braking. Let's see, we've spoken about first gear, yeah. So I would even engage second gear earlier. The first half a second you had to hesitate while being in first before you shifted to second. Yeah. Oh. You want to be at the curb when you are at maximum rotation, then you want to go to second, because that's also the point where you want to later on start applying the throttle. So yeah, long story short is that UI is also a bit broken in general with that engine brake showing that way. Gonna ask him about the engine brake map, and then I have to do a show run anyway. What is your current engine brake map?
I think 17.
17, okay.
Yes.
So that makes kind of sense, because 17 is one of the lower engine brake maps, and that would mean the car will give it a lot of throttle in order to not initiate the engine brake too hard. Ooh, we have that lag issue again. Oh, I need to have a look myself now on his delta times on the intersection, because of the live delta, as you can see, not working properly. That is sometimes, I think it has to do with his connection. 48.9 to beat. I think he is a tad faster than that at 1.5 tenths. It's just keeping in that second gear is, I think, what is the important part for him. Yeah, lines are certainly looking better. We're gonna speak about that first and second gear in a moment.
Okay.
Altaman, it is a good old single-seater. It's the V10 engine Formula Pro car. Jenkish, I'm literally coaching any car on RF2, whether that is GT3, whether that would be a hypercar or an F1 car, or also one of the small tattoos. We're coming in for personal best 49.0. And it would be here where he already needs to be in second gear. So what I want him to do later on is, I'm fine with him turning in first. If he thinks that helps his rotation, then I'm good with it. Because I want his rotation to be done before those apexes anyway. But I want to make sure that he is certainly in second gear before he applies the throttle, so that he has a more consistent engine behavior. So it was here where I want him to be in second, and he upshifts there. That is the only big difference right now that I would impose on an improvement here, because you know, you go onto the throttle in first gear and you feel like, oh, okay, this engine is pushy, it's easy to spin up the rears, and once you spin up the rears, it's a certain time loss, as he'd done a very good chicane there through the castle. Was very nice. That was sort about right, just a tad earlier still, because you want to be done, but that has to do with the driving. Like, it is a total combination of things. Probably he keeps it in first for longer because he needs more rotation even beyond the apex, but of course he wants to be done with the rotation at the apex. So that might be a concern, but overall, it might still be beneficial to be in second, and as he wants to learn to pick up the throttle earlier anyway, that means he needs to be a bit more aggressive, and you can't really be aggressive in that that first gear, as you know. Yeah, it's better. It's better. It's just he overshot the corner a bit. Here he would need upshift earlier, and then he can go more aggressive onto the throttle. And I think he could even be faster through that castle section. If he goes shifting first, second for every acceleration zone, first for every rotation zone. I think surely that there is some improvements still to be made. Alright, we'll let him finish that lap. We speak about a couple of improvements, or a couple of changes then. So after the lap, park the car, please.
After this one?
No, after the one you just finished.
Okay.
Generally, I see a lot of improvements already, like just in the general way. Like your turn 4 is already improved, your turn 5 and 6 approach is improved, and I think we're pretty much ready to speak about and focus on the early throttle application already. If you really want to make use of that first gear, it is really important that as soon as you want to be more early on the throttle, you need to be done with the rotation, and it is very important that you also get into the corner in the right speed. So if you take a 90-degree standard corner, and you would say the apex is right at the 45-degree angle of the corner rotation, then your car should already be like 50-55 degrees rotated when hitting that apex, because that means you only have like 30-35 degrees of rotation to do from the apex to the exit, which means you can more straight line the exit, therefore can be more aggressive on the throttle, therefore can be more aggressive in cornering speeds as well. And that takes obviously a little bit of a different approach to an extent. We might see your lap times dropping again a little further. And in general, you need to be a little bit more precise in gearing. A lot of times you're really first gear on the apex still, then you're already going onto the throttle, and when being halfway on the throttle, you then go to second, but while being halfway on the throttle, you already hesitated going onto the throttle, and then be like, oh yeah, I need to be in second gear in order to not lose the rear here. So I'm going to go out on the track now. If you join my onboard, let me know when you are on it.
Yep. I'm on it.
Okay. So what I really wanted to do is focus on the rotation and on being at the apex first, second, and then you can go onto the throttle when you have warmed up tires, obviously. But you get the idea. So it is, you can rotate the car up till the apex and first, and then you need to be in second gear as soon as you apply the throttle. So you brake for the turn, be in first, second, and then you go out of the turn. Same here, if you want to be in first, It is at the apex where you're gonna go in second and then just manage the rear. Same goes for this turn. You wanna be in first here, turn around second, and then you can start pushing the car.
Okay, so it's easier just to stay on the second. If I do this 1 and then 2, it's more work, but it's faster if you do it correctly.
I would certainly say so, because here you can focus on rotating, and once you're at the apex and want to go onto the throttle, you know, going from first to second and being on the throttle is always a shock for the drivetrain. It's always a shock for being on the throttle, and then you know, when the gear changes, there is ever so slightly hesitation in the drivetrain putting down the power, and as soon as the new gear kicks, it has higher RPM, it gets another shock onto the rear suspension that just very likely makes the rear goes loose. That's why you want to be apex first, and then as soon as you go onto the throttle, you want to be the gear up. You can also do that here, being second there, third as a short shift, and then apply the throttle. The car has enough torque. It is just about getting the right cornering speed in. You can actually practice this in every other turn.
So question about lines. My lines right now, are they okay to be on throttle earlier, or I need to change that?
You may only need to have a slight adjustment. So let's say for this corner, you brake very long straight, you turn a lot, and then you open the steering after the apex. You want to have the rotation done way before the apex. So if I go very, very slowly here, just gonna put the pit limiter. So that makes it the most easy. You want to be able to rotate the car a lot. So at the apex, if you now look from the onboard, I go a bit backwards here. The corner, the car's already more looking to the corner exit than it looks to the corner entry.
Yes.
And that means that from here on, the way to get out of the turn is just way more straight lined, and therefore you can pressure the rear end a lot harder. You can also see that pretty good here. It's like you do most of the rotation there, and then you straight line the exit. That is obviously now a little bit extreme as it's shown, because I'm also going slow. The car is obviously more agile in changes. But it's the same here. You want to be at the very inside, and then you want to do most of the rotation here already, and then you can just straight line the exit. Same goes for this turn down here. You want to be in first. As soon as you hit the curb, you put second, and then you go on the throttle.
So that's my question. Like, it looks like I need to change the way the lines I'm doing.
Ever so slightly. Like, I've already done most of the line optimizations, like here. Like being here on the inside, then going there onto the turn. That is already part of the coaching that we had last week. You remember when I told you to go a bit more tight in the castle section.
So overall, my line's okay right now.
Your lines are generally okay right now. Just if you want to go early to the throttle, you need to make sure that more of the rotation is being done before the point where you want to apply the throttle.
I see. And again, if I'm doing the first gear and then the second, I should upshift exactly when I start applying throttle, or
yes, I do another 3 turns. I do another 3 turns, so you see what I mean.
Okay.
So I go down to second, third, and then I go into the throttle.
Okay.
Here I do it with first, second at the apex, and then I go to the throttle.
I see.
Also, we've spoken about this, but I think I'm completely off the throttle, but I also have 20% of throttle input on the pedal. The same here. First, at the apex, you're in second. Also, if you run wide and if you before you get too scared, the second is obviously way more lenient. A second on the apex, and then you go out of the turn.
So what I was doing, I was applying the throttle and then changing.
You were applying a little bit of throttle, and then like halfway through the exit, you were changing from first to second. Yeah, that just increases the danger, and also you have a little bit more of feeling. You can be a little bit more aggressive in second gear as the RPMs are down, the overall power is not as high on the initial engine. So that way you will have way easier running if you are in the higher gear, or like, yeah, in the gear you want to exit the corner with.
Okay.
All right, let's have a go. Right. So let's see. We will have to do a lot of adjustments now. Second? Yes, exactly. In turn 3...
Yeah, the only problem is when you turn, like, and you know, I'm upshifting with the thing on the right side, so like turning right, it's difficult.
I know. You can also, like, it's not forbidden to do it in first gear, of course, but I just say, like, if you really want to start attacking it, it's just so much more dangerous to lose this car in first gear.
Yeah.
I would certainly not recommend doing so.
But here, for example, if I do second, I just start on the second, right?
You can stay on the second for practice purposes. You can also go to third, but the corner is rather a second gear exit, I'd say.
That's what you were doing in the first corner, right? So you take it on the second gear.
Yes, I did that for showing reasons, so I took it second gear and shifted to third. First turn might be possible to do so, but I think second is just alright.
Okay.
And second. Yeah, if you go a bit earlier in second, you can go a little early on the throttle, then take more momentum. And second. That is, you see it on the delta, second. On every exit you're gaining a tenth. Second. Yeah, 2/10 even here. Second.
Oh, was too far away.
Okay. Really try. It is uncomfortable to shift within being in a corner and being in rotation on the wheel. I get that. But like I give you a couple of laps and then you see whether you can do it. If you can't do it, we may need to work on going early on throttle and first without spinning. From a driving perspective, the first gear is the harder part than shifting as such, you know. It's just when you are physically not able to reach the pedal while in the corner, then...
Yeah, there's corners I can't, like that one before castle section is just, I cannot reach it there.
Okay.
Because you rotate more, but others should be fine, I think.
Second. Yeah, just this time you didn't do enough rotations because you locked up right on the initial turn-in. Second. But a turn might need first for rotation. I get that.
So it's better just do first on the first and then be more gentle than to take it on the second, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that gear is the second gear entry anyway. First gear is too slow. Yeah, and if you guys appreciate this, if you guys want to have your own coaching maybe, then write me an email, simracing@michi-hoya.com. I'm gonna have that later on down in the comments area below, and the video description area. And then we find our date. And second. Try in this corner, try to be off the brake as soon as you turn in, because your brake bias is a lot forwards and your aggression is still high, so you tend to lock up there. That was even a bit too early into the second. Now. You want to do it at maximum rotation when being at the apex. Yeah, like this, exactly like this. And I would keep in second here all the way in that castle section.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the first is just too slow?
I think that the first is good for rotation, but like you would need to be first, second.
Too much.
Like if you can be that busy on the handles, then give it a try. I get that first is better for rotation.
It's just too slow.
No, right? It's not too slow. It's for second it might be a tad too slow. For first it's actually accurate, but again, as you are given some throttle between the left and the right turn in the Castle Stadium, the danger of losing the rear end, especially on worn tires, is just too huge. Second. Try to brake a tad earlier. You're carrying a bit too much speed. And if you guys are wondering, like, he's not even improving, that is absolutely normal at this stage. Because what you see is that he's improving on every exit. Which is why we're doing this.
Early?
No, the shift itself was fine, just your hesitation to apply the throttle afterwards. Yeah, like, the moment you get into second and the rotation is right, you want to also start going onto the accelerator. You've all the way been now in second.
Yeah, so that's what I was supposed to do. I got confused a little bit. So I brake before that turn left to the first gear, right? I turn in, and then when I should go to the second before exit.
Or no, you actually did that right. Like, you turned in and you were in the second to be able to apply the throttle between both turns, and the delta was coming down. It was just, I think you were a bit too fast out of that right-hander, and then trying to push too hard, like before the actual apex.
I see.
So what I'm... Yeah, much better, much better. Now we just need to find the right cornering speed and be good there. So yeah, what I wanted to say, look on the delta every time he's doing the right technique. Going first in, second on the apex and then accelerating out. Was still a bit lucky here on that apex, but generally speaking, out of every apex that he's coming out in second gear and not entering too fast, we were a bit too fast at the apex, he is able to carry much more performance, much more speed out of the turn. That is the small improvements we're currently looking for. Like here, you see the delta coming down from 9/10 to 8.5/10. That is the sort of small successes that we're currently looking for. We don't care about losing half a second right now on the entry. That is something that we combine
second gear
later again. Yes. Last 2 turns in second gear. Here, I think sometimes it might be wise to enter this turn in second and then short shift to the third, because the exit, the rear end becomes really loose really quick.
But that third should be again like when I just before the apex, just before the going on the throttle.
Before going on throttle.
Oh, so it's the same thing as other corners.
Yes.
It's just not. Okay, got it.
In an ideal world, you stop needing rotation right at the apex. So you brake, you turn in. This is where you need rotation, and as soon as you're at the apex, you need less rotation, and that's when you pick up the throttle again, and therefore shifting up. Yeah, see, you just need to hesitate, or you're just waiting too long in first gear to apply the throttle. Yeah, that is much better. That is exactly what we need now. And then also when you are in second, you can straight away go a little bit on the gas, like 5, 10, 15%, just to see what the car's doing. Yeah, this is really good. Third, yeah. You were a little too quick. This is a late apex corner, so you really need to wait really long till you're able to accelerate out of it. I still think that final turn, second gear, is probably better overall. It is a tad too slow for third.
Okay, just stay on the second then.
Don't, like, the moment you start turning in, you keep pressing harder on the brake. You need to brake harder beforehand and release the brake as soon as you turn in. Otherwise you front the locking. And now you can go half a second early on the throttle there even. Like now. The moment when I say now, you shift into second and then immediately start applying the throttle. Now.
The problem is that my steering wheel is not straight yet. That's why I hesitate, mostly because of that.
Yeah, that was a brilliant exit out of the castle. Keep that in mind. It's exactly how we want it. Yeah, I don't know, like, you probably need to find ways, and you can do that in a dry practice, let's say, like to just be stationary in pit road, turn the wheel, and at the same time try to shift, like without all the driving, but to just get into the point where you are able to reach that shifter while rotating the steering wheel at the same time. Second, and go. Yeah, really good. And go. Yeah, that is exactly how we want to do it. Yeah, this time you were too early and second, killing the rotation of the car. So it is, you need to be kinda able to shift.
I think that corner is just impossible, probably. Okay. I don't know. I think it's just turned so much, cannot reach.
I do not know what kind of steering wheel you have. Like, I remember on that Fanatec that I once had, the shifters are so small that it was a stretch for me as well. Like, now I have real huge shifter pedals where I'm just like, when I turn it completely on the inside, it's just like my hand is moving kinda above the wheel and presses it from the top notch, like just with the left first finger.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe just getting used to it.
Yeah.
But that's the only corner kind of difficult relative to others.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Try to turn in a little later into turn 1.
Okay.
Second. It was right. If you did that application of throttle while being in second gear, the rear end wouldn't have stepped out at this stage. Yeah, like you had to slightly correct that little push that you had in first gear. Don't forget to steer off the wall though. Yeah, slightly too quick through the right hander of the castle. Compromised your exit too much.
Pretty much there are two ways you can do this. You can just stay on the first, but it's just more risky. And both ways are okay. There is not like one faster than another. It's just you need to do it like you do the one you do better, right?
Exactly. Like if you have such a sensible right foot that you're never gonna spin your wheels in first gear, then it's fine. Generally, I think it is easier with a short shift, a little less power to deal with, a little bit less torque to deal with, and especially on worn tires, much easier to handle. Additionally, also first gear is likely to ever so slightly spin the tires more, therefore having more rear tire wear. That's why second gear is always preferable. was alright. Just remember to stay a little bit more on the left before going into the right turn. Honestly, I think that was a good lap. Like, there was a time where you were 5/10 down just because you didn't focus on the braking as much as you did in the opening stages, as you were more focused on the exit. So if you combine both, there is 6 or 7 tenths that you can gain. So this is why I said try to turn in a little later, because if you turn in later into this turn, you do more rotation before the apex, and therefore you have easier exit. What you had to do here now is like you turned in, then you were on the apex curb, and you suddenly realized, damn, you're gonna go onto the wall. So you opened the steering, and then you had to steer in again. And that got you in the end wide onto the curb. So you want to really make sure to do most of the rotation before the apex, rather with a later turn in, and then have an easier exit.
That braking point should be the same, right?
Yeah.
So
Braking point is the same. You just wait like a tenth or so with the steering, and then you're gonna comfortably make the corner with that way you rotate into the turn. Now see, first gear almost bite your back here. I mean, you can give it a try. You probably might be faster for the moment again because you tried a lot in the first gear acceleration, but I think when you are mastering the technique of short shifting and then being aggressive on that short shifted second gear, you're still gonna be much quicker.
I think exiting on the second is just safer. Yeah, when you do a long race.
That comes on top of it, yes.
Yes.
First gear might be a thing for qualifying.
Exactly, yes.
But even in qualifying, you don't want to rely on getting the first gear right for all of these turns. You sometimes rather want to be aggressive but save in the second gear. It is a feeling of preference in a qualifying, I'd say. Just find whatever suits you most. But in the race, I'd certainly recommend being on the short shift strat. Yep, and now you just need to carry the speed. But you saw you came much more to the inside. I mean, obviously you were a bit slower in turn 1.
Yes.
But you had never really the issue that you came close to that curb that was easy to spin you around. You hesitated a good second from being in first. Second. And of course, if you guys got any comments, feel free to put them in the comments area below. Put them in the chat if you are a subscriber on Twitch or a member or sponsor on YouTube and able to watch this live. Of course, if you got questions, suggestions, want to comment on something, if that got your attention, feel free. Yeah, that exit was really good. Like, the timing you went into second and how you then went onto the throttle was exactly how it should be. Because obviously you went a bit too deep.
Yeah, but it's still better to do on the second gear.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah. I think first would just unsettle the car too much in a penultimate turn because of that elevation changes.
Slightly late, right? Shifting.
You're shifting slightly late, yes. The line itself and the way you rotated was good. Okay, we're in second already.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you understeer or spin, try to hit the throttle the same moment you're shifting up.
Okay.
Because you're still shifting up and still waiting with the throttle application. Yep, exactly like that. That was much better from shifting up and then using the throttle into the uphill section of the castle. Okay to put a couple of puts wrong here, like, you know, shifting up, hitting the throttle and understeer into the wall because rest of the turn didn't match too good. But it is really important that you also get the feeling and that you get the habit of putting the short shift in and then immediately use that opportunity to go into the throttle. First shift, then throttle. Just too early on the shift. Don't turn that much on the steering wheel, you will just understeer. Also here in that right hander, it feels to me that you are throwing the car a bit into the turn, trying to make it rotate through that turn with that speed. The car's not able to do that. You need to be a tad more gentle there. In that right hander of the castle section. Espla Honda, hello and thank you for joining. Matteo Blotto, thank you for your prime sub. Welcome to the stream. Simca Jeezer, hello and welcome. So, you guys are currently seeing a sponsorship / subscriber only stream. We're doing a live coaching of Alay here in the Formula Pro car. I'm gonna try to really go onto the throttle together with the, like, try to do it simultaneously. Pull on the handle and go on the throttle at the same time. You always shift. Like here in this turn as well, you shift it, and then it takes like a half a second till you go into the throttle.
I mean, why I'm doing that, like that's kind of conscious because, you know, when I turn, like for example here, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm this position and if I changed, like because of my steering wheel, like 90-degree or more, I feel like I'm just gonna...
How much steering you have? Wait. This is actually a perfect opportunity. Stop the car, just keep stationary, and just on your own wheel turn 90 degrees, please. That's about right. And if you turn 180, it's... okay. Doesn't seem too bad. Keep stationary for the moment. Mm-hmm. What I want you to do now is like be 90 degrees on the steering wheel. Try to shift up a couple of times. Okay. Do the same thing with 180 degrees.
This is difficult. to do that, I need to kind of take my right hand completely off, which I can.
So
Let me see.
what I don't want, like, I don't want you to really take it off, but when you are turning the steering wheel 180 degrees to the right, it is like you are starting to lift off the left part of your right hand of the steering wheel anyway, right? Because that's just exactly.
Yes.
And now try.
I only can keep my thumb inside.
Exactly. You keep the thumb inside, and now you just try with your first finger beside the thumb. You just try to reach the upper end of the upshifter. So mostly when people are on the straight, you are centered on the shifter, and you're using the second, third, and fourth finger maybe even to shift up. But in that situation, 180 degrees, when you overturn it, it's just like the pointing finger. That should somehow reach the top end of the shifter and pull it. At least my shifter is like, I don't know, the shifter has a length of, I'd say, 7 or 8 centimeters in the back. So
yeah,
it
I think
really
it's
goes up.
They too short for that. I will send you the photos so you will see.
Yes.
I need to take like it's kind of halfway inside my thumb to reach it.
Yeah, you need to show me a picture. Maybe if you can do an adjustment to the pedal that is just like going 2 or 3 centimeters longer somehow, you can reach it more accurately. But that's fine. Okay, keep going. Just Jay, thank you for joining. Yes, he is fully off the throttle. The car has an engine brake. While he goes out, I can show you the engine brake real quick. I'll just wait for him to be gone, to not intimidate. You see, I'm like, here's my right feet. Yeah, both my feet are off the pedal. But in first gear, that is sort of engine brake that is on the ongoing. And if I do that and completely lift off, you see the engine brake is doing its job, and I can show you it's the engine brake because here it is engine brake max.
I was saying that, you know, when I turn, I am hesitant to press on the throttle because I think that the steering wheel angle is too high. You know, like for example here, like I don't know, like that's the reason why I'm doing it later. Does that make sense?
When the steering wheel angle is off, I don't quite get what you mean.
Like, you remember you're saying to me that, hey, you just wait, you upshift and then you wait. So the reason I have that delay because in the apex, I don't feel like my steering wheel is open enough. Angle-wise, that I can press. That's the reason. Like, I'm waiting just to open it, then I press.
Okay. Yeah. We want to get to a point where you are, you know, if you have, let's say you've turned in 100%. Like, just 100% is the maximum turning you want to have in a situation like this. So
you're saying like 90 to 100%?
No. It's not a specific turning. It's just like in a slow turn, like in a hairpin, 100% would be 180 degree steering lock. In a normal not hairpin or a 60 degree turn, I don't know, a steering angle of 45% to be the 100%, just for that specific turn. The moment you are starting going back from your maximum turning input is also the moment where you simultaneously want to increase the throttle. Maybe I can show it to you in a bit of driving again.
I did something stupid.
What?
I was doing engine mixture 1 all this time.
Ah.
Yep. I was like driving and the third corner I was like, why I'm not reaching the 7th gear? Like I remember just yesterday I was reaching it.
I also thought that we did like 46s already.
Yes. It's like too slow.
But I thought that maybe you were running more fuel or so.
No,
yeah, okay.
No.
6th gear. Mix 6 will make first gear acceleration significantly harder.
Yes. Maybe it's better that we start that way.
Yeah. So just Jay, I hope your question is answered about the throttle while going for the brakes, because he's running engine map 17 and that is obviously really high. Really high as in almost no engine braking at all. Yeah, that's already much better. It's already much better in that turn too.
Yeah, I think it's more about the track itself.
What do you mean by the track itself?
I hit the thing. What's the name of it? The edge. God, I lost the word. The curb.
Limit. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
curb is just.
Yeah, some of these curbs are really high and you should not really run on them. Like this exit curb is one of it. I would also suggest to enable invulnerability for testing reasons.
Okay.
Press that with F6. You still felt that little shock from going from first to second despite just 30% throttle application?
Yes.
That's exactly what I mean. Put second first and then apply the throttle, yeah. Yeah, that was really good. That exactly like that we want to have it.
Well, I know what's the other issue in my head. Like I was thinking, when you should go on the throttle, it means 100%.
No. Exactly not. This is what
But
I try explaining.
I
When you are
see.
at 100% turning, it's 0% throttle. When you're at 90% turning, it's 5 to 10% throttle. And only when you've opened the steering to like 30 or 20% of steering input remaining, that's the moment when you can think about slowly going to full throttle. Spla Honda, it depends. If you want to have more engine braking, a lower number. If you want to have less engine braking, a higher number. The range on this car is between 0 and 20. I mostly run between 11 and 13 depending on the track or depending on the corners. With this type of corners I'd probably be with 11 because I really want the rear end to rotate around. Yep, almost a tad slower, then you can open the steering earlier, then you can go more on the throttle. Yeah, much better. Really good. Yeah, you're slowly getting to where I wanted to be. I can go a tad faster through that left fender, apart from that everything's fine. Yeah, this was really good. You see it straight away on the Delta. This was just about close to being perfect. And the Delta's broken. That story. I hope it was valid for the first 1 or 2 turns, because those looked really good.
Nice.
Yeah. Slightly too aggressive.
Yep, and it feels more like... Yeah, it just didn't open it enough. Too early.
I think you were just a bit too aggressive on the initial throttle application.
Okay.
And then obviously that is equivalent to not having the steering opened enough. But I think from a timing wise, you had to still keep the steering that you had. You were just a little too early on the throttle and too aggressive. Yeah, remember second gear?
Yep.
Now you shifted a bit too early as well. Make sure to not shift before the apex. Shift on the apex, if anything, slightly after, but not earlier. If you do it before the apex, you may just kill the rotation and therefore not make the exit. I try to steer a little less in that fast chicane. You always want to be as less as possible on the steering to A, not scrap the tire, and B, not scrap the speed. Where is Delta? Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
The only problem is the curves here.
Yeah, but you did turn 2 really well. Also with turn 3. Be more on the outside for the entry of 4. Earlier into second, then you can go earlier on the throttle. Slightly too fast into the turn. Perfect. The moment you shifted into second and then applied throttle into the castle was just right. You did not even have to put that much steering. You hear the front left tires scrubbing a lot. Try to minimize that as much as possible without running into the walls, obviously. I think turn 1 you can brake 5 meters later. Sadly a bit too slow this time into turn 2. The overall choreography of turning and shifting was good though. All the way to the left, to the left, to the left. Good exit. Go more to the left for turn 4, please. Very good. Very good timings. Cast section was alright, also a good exit. Was a good middle sector, you improved it by 2/10. Was your personal best, apparently. Second. Yeah, really good. See your delta coming down. Brilliant. And come to the left, to the left, to the left. Yeah, much better. Very good. You really need to maximize track usage to turn 4, that helps a lot. Yeah. You took a little bit too much speed away before going into the left-hander. Apart from that was fine. Yeah.
Here is like...
Yeah, you were a little too early and a little too strong on the throttle, but I know I've been there in that turn. I've spun out a couple of times there as well, because it invites you to you want to push early because of that long straight.
I don't know, is that because of the curb or like why this happens?
It's just general track and the load on the tires there. Getting a better rhythm for turn 2. I remember use all the track in turn 4. All the way to the left. You went too fast into 7 now, into 6. But the overall line in 5 and 6 is good. Just when you go 10 kph too fast, you're losing the line. You understeer first, and then you can't get the second rotation in. Try to be rather late at that apex. So drive into that turn wide and get close to the inside curb towards the exit of the turn. Sadly, you turned in too early again. Yes, as Blahunda, bit of coffee. Bit of coffee required. Go to the left to use the track. A very good upshift. Yeah, be a bit more careful in those low speed turns. You tend to be too aggressive on the brakes when being in rotation. So you need to brake a little harder before turning in and then brake softer while turning. You have very much small micro lockups. Yep, good line here. Remember what I told you, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, about the optimal steering angle? The car wants to be steered less. You might be also steering a bit too much, and then while opening the steering you come through that zone of optimal steering, and then the front grips, and that makes the car spin as well. Keep the braking performance up with both turn 1 and 2. Late, hard and aggressive in the beginning, then easing off towards the apex. Yeah, good timing. Good timing. Don't take the anti-cut. Good upshift. Yeah, a little too late with the upshift, a little too fast on the right-hander, therefore compromising the left-hander. Also, if you want me to shut off, just let me know.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, a bit too much steering in the left-hander, and I think also ever so slightly too much steering through the right. But it's getting better. The line itself is anticipative and good.
Brake later.
Yes. Brake earlier. But you're still gaining time, you locked the front, you almost overbroke the car into turn 2. So brake right before the zebra crossing. Here you can brake later. Very good turning. All the way to the left, please. Very good turn 4. Too late with the upshift. Bit too much turning, but good with the upshift. Brilliant with the upshift to fasten the right-hander. Too early with the turn in here.
Yeah.
Yep, much better. Go all the way to the left. Yeah, not that not that hard.
Yeah.
But the earlier you are to the left, the more straight you can brake, and the more you can focus on the turn and the right entry speed. That's why I pushed you to go over that early. Now try to open up that right-hander a lot more into, like, you are going at it at a too narrow angle when coming up the hill. A little too early at the apex, just a little. Try to brake the same late, but open the brake a little earlier to carry a tad more speed through turn 1. And don't start overturning on the steering. Yeah, very good. Could go a bit early on the throttle still, but generally turning timing was alright. Very good. Yeah, that is much better now. Yeah, very good, very good. It was much better through the right hander to open up the left hander. Good speed. Nice rotation. Very good. I like the way you do turn 2 at the minute. You're still locking a bit too much front tires while turning. Yeah, very good. You can also try using a bit more brake, Matt, by reducing the value from 17 to, let's say, 15. That helps with the rotation and turns, but only if you feel comfortable. If you want to keep the rotation of the car like it is, then just leave it.
That means less brake
No,
now,
more... Less value means more brake on the engine.
Which is good. I mean, you can brake a little later.
Not necessarily, but you can rotate a little easier.
So the less engine brake, the less the number, it rotates more.
The less the number, the more the engine is braking, yes.
Okay, so what's the downside of this?
Put it to 0 and you will spin.
Because it rotates so much.
Yeah, it tends to easily lock or over-rotate on the rear.
So this also affects like how much you steer, like oversteer.
Yeah. I mean, put it for 0 for the rest of the lap if you want to see the effect.
I don't have it on my steering wheel.
Okay.
Which I should.
Yeah, you should have on your steering wheel brake bias.
I do, and
brake
engine
map.
mix.
Engine mix. Yeah. And I think the car can't handle anything else. And if you guys want to be with us next time when we do this live, then consider becoming a subscriber on the Twitch channel. Consider becoming a member or sponsor on the YouTube channel. Then you gain yourself an entrance card into these type of streams. If you can still wait on the sessions to be published,
no, I do
then
have it actually. I was not
feel
just
free to
using
leave
it. Okay, I put it on 15.
Okay, let's see what happens. Feel the difference?
Yes, it rotates better.
Yeah. But only as long as you're off the throttle, of course.
Yes.
Certainly will help with this tight right-hander that we just passed. But remember, the entry speed should still be the same. Yep, very good. Don't forget about the braking technique. It's also good. Early on the upshift. Has Honda either a button box? I've seen some people using their stream decks. What I'm having down there for operating the stream or the videos as button boxes, I think. But of course I do have a racing button box here. You see that was the engine brake now starting to turn on you. So if you start turning in too much on the steering wheel, the engine brake might bite you. That is the trade-off.
Yes. But they also in like it was the wrong line, I think.
Yeah, you were too late and you steered on the steering wheel. Yeah, try to turn in the tad later. Apart from that, everything fine. Good timing with the shifting. And here, remember to brake late. Focus on the braking technique as well. Very good. Yep, good. Can shift up later. Yes, very good. Apart from that, hitting the curb. Yeah, don't hit the anti-cut. And don't over-rotate on the steering wheel. The moment you started over-rotating on the steering wheel, the understeer got worse.
Yeah, also tires out. Ground level like 75. Still okay-ish.
You can feel free to take a fresh set of tires if you think you can improve with them. Exactly as Honda, so like a pit request or maybe managing the MFD
Still don't know
menu.
what I think about going to 15. We'll see. Like with this fresh tires.
Are you at 15 again?
I changed, yeah.
Okay.
Just now.
Yeah, timings look fine, lines look fine. Try not to... It's really important that when you miss an apex, you're not turning harder on the steering wheel.
Better just to slow it down, right?
Yes. You just want to be minimally on the brake so that your fronts don't lock up, but you don't want to steer more on the front wheels. Don't use first in this turn. Yeah, very good turn 2. We're starting to make sure to not use first in turn 1. Can carry more speed through 4. Very good timing. castle section was alright. May want to check the castle entry, whether second gear is actually better for you. Leave that to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with.
I mean, yesterday was a practice and I feel like first is better.
I think in second you can carry more speed through it when you're precise.
Let's try.
Sadly, I have a broken delta again. There's something with your connection because every now and then you are lagging around. Yep, good. Yeah, exactly, perfect. The exit was exactly like it should be, slowly more on the throttle and all the way releasing the steering.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Should not forget to brake. Alright, 20 minutes to go. Just focus as good as you can on your marks, on the braking, on the turning, on the early shifting, and so on. I'll leave you a couple minutes to it without any correction now. So what I want to do with that now is I want him to obviously rearrange himself as well, to also get a feeling for what is right, what might be wrong. Obviously whenever I shout in between saying...
I'm gonna go back to 17.
Okay. Whenever I shout in and like give a suggestion here, give a correction there, he needs to perceive all that. He needs to also put that into practice, and I want to now give him just a couple of laps where he can just run. Maybe also think about comparing to himself, like where he has at least a good awareness of what might have been his actual issue. Despite he's doing mistakes here or there, most of the time he knows exactly what he's done wrong. So I don't need to tell him all the time. And also I could imagine, as much as me trying to only talk on the straights, that this is pretty much a factor where you get him out of the rhythm. Yeah, this turn 1 is getting significantly better again. This turn 2 he does really good. Was a bit too hot into it, but still good on the exit. It's Skyscream, thank you so much for your prime sub, appreciate it. A 2 month. Thank you for the support and welcome to the sub only stream here. Oh, this is looking good. This is exactly what I wanted to look like. Maybe I should have shut up a bit earlier. I'll just let him do. A tad too late on the upshift. Obviously, as my customer, he will get access to this video afterwards anyway. Look at him being purple in sector 1. A bit too quick. Just slowed it down in time. A good castle section. And now he's probably more focusing on the actual driving again rather than finger from turn to turn and satisfying my observation. Obviously, it needs to go hand in hand. I can't just sit there and just tell him what to do and then let him do it on his own. I need to readjust constantly. But for the last 15 to 20 minutes, I want him to readjust himself. You know, I want him to... Like, he should now be aware of what he's asked to do. He is now aware of what are the points to have a look on. Oh, this is a beautiful turn 1. A bit lock up into turn 2. But as much as he now focuses on all these points, I don't want to intimidate him. I just want him to let him focus on the actual task that I've put it up on him. And he's adjusting well. Like, it's not the biggest progress right now. The last session we did 46.3. That is too tight. 46.3. Or 46.1. We're close to that while readjusting the driving part. He's not driving the way on his exits he used to do it before because he's taking it a total different way now. He is trying to maybe give away half a tenth per corner before the apex and trying to regain that after the apex and even gain more time compared to previously. But that adjustment takes time. It's just nothing that you learn within a 2-hour run, right? Guys, Scream, feel free to take notes. And good luck for your Baku race in the end. If he didn't blip the throttle a little bit, it would have been a magnificent exit. Small blip of throttle just made him understeer in that exact moment where he didn't need it. That was a good turn 5. As I said, it's just time to let him explore a little bit on his own with the new techniques, with the adaptations. That was very racy, but I think that was fast. At least it looked fast. Congrats at Skyscream. Which league are you running? Bit too quick. you have any more questions at the minute?
No.
Oh, it's Guy Screaming for sure. Every league has a competition level, don't you worry. Yeah, I think at this stage it's also about fixing the field of view a bit. Like, I see variations in the driving from you, which I think is a bit down to the perspective that you are taking in. Like, sometimes you might feel doing the same on the steering wheel, but the screen is showing something rather different. Yeah, Jenkins should as well. 2 hours with constant input and constant readjustment. Well, we might be at the make or break point where he maybe just gets it together for one lap, but that's it then. But that's also a reason why I don't want to overstress him now with more and more inputs. He just got so much variance in his driving, like sometimes 10 kph too quick, 10 meters or 5 meters too early on the turn, and next time 10 kilometers per hour too slow. This is where I think a wrong sense of field is coming in, because he is running on a setup of 180 centimeters screen. He got 3 screens that are extremely curved, and he's running like a small cockpit, so like a 360 camera angle around him. But I think like you can find him on Instagram, Basement Formula. I think when looking at his videos on Instagram, to me the field of view is a bit odd. It seems a bit off. And I think we need to fix that. To a certain extent, yes, I would love to go back to FSR calendar with loads of races. But at the same time, I don't want to do any die-hard sweats anymore. For the more virtual series, yes, of course, that's a different story. There is a big price money on the line, but FSR doesn't really have the price money. It justifies hours and hours of sweating. We went too fast and too early on the turning. Into the turn. I think Alay also races Baku this Sunday. And he's also locking up a lot when going to the initial turning. Like the moment he turns in, you see both the front wheels ever so slightly locking. And you hear them also locking. Yeah, remember to really open up the right hander of the castle. Now he broke so early again. It was a beautiful line through the final turn. That way you can attack them early on the throttle to carry more speed onto the straight, for sure. That's certainly the right approach. You aware you locked up twice now also into turn 2 while turning in. Can't leave it to not say anything. A bad coach. Telling her shut up with them not just shut up. But still, you know, you want to do these adjustments. I think if you want to take fresh tires, it's about now the final opportunity. It gives you another 3 or 4 laps. Unless you think you are done, because to me you feel pretty exhausted.
That's okay. Do just those 2-3 laps. The problem here is curves too. Like, just wait to spin.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of variance again in your braking. Sometimes right, and sometimes locking up, then sometimes turning in too early, sometimes too late, sometimes turning in too hard, turning in too little, and then over rotating because you turned too little before. But I hope that we can fix that with a field of view, because I think field of view is a key element in that issue. That's not actually like a finger pointing or anything. It's probably just the reality that you're doing the best with what your screen is showing you. I think that might have a huge difference.
Okay. Enough.
You done?
Yes.
It's fine. Yeah, like you've done more than a race distance already, so.
Yeah.
Do you have questions?
No.
Anything you'd like to discuss still?
I mean, that field of view thing I sent to you, the measurements.
Yes.
So I just need to find again just vertical field of view and just put the distance of my eyes. That's it. I think that's the only thing I'm missing. Okay.
Yeah. Like, again, I don't know, obviously, if the camera that you use for recording the reels and the stories that you put on Instagram is putting off when, because I only see your cockpit through that
Angle, yeah, I understand.
angle, but the way, like, the more far away you are from a screen, the tighter your vertical field of view is. So I have 70 centimeters from my eyes to my screen, and I have a vertical field of view calculation area by 31 degrees. So if I go back another, I don't know, 10 centimeters, so to make it 80 to the screen, I would have a field of view of 20, 25, 26. And I think you, from your center screen and the position where you're sitting, like, your legs is probably roughly a meter long, and it's way before the screen. So I think your distance to the screen itself is probably a meter plus, meter and 20.
No, it's more. I just measured. It's 155.
155. What is your
Yes.
vertical field of view at the minute? In settings.
I think it's like 50 or something.
50.
Let me see. Because again, I recently my JSON file got destroyed.
Yeah.
And I kind of went off. Wait, that's in the what? Graphics, right?
Yes.
55, yes.
Oof. I mean, for me, it's hard to judge. literally because obviously I don't have the full screen. Of course, because you have a 360-degree screen, your field of view needs to be somewhat more huge anyway. But I'd say probably at 40, you have a lot better chances of seeing more consistently, having a better sense of speed. Because I think this is where I believe the difference and the variance in your driving is coming from. Your sense of speed is not very well calibrated to what feels natural for the driver's eye. And therefore, I think you have issues of hitting the same entry speed, the same entry point, the same braking point, lap in, lap out. Not saying it's a kind of lottery, but certainly whenever you see a specific moment, a specific point in such a wide field of view, and you might just miss it slightly from your eye point of view, but in reality in the sim you have a huge variance of like 5 meters or so. That obviously makes a big deal.
Yes.
I would try to really decrease the field of view a little bit and see whether it helps.
Yeah, I will do 40 for now, and then we'll calculate.
Yes, give it a day with 40. When you receive the current value, the correct values, then try to readjust to that. But see if 40 is giving you a better feel and sense of speed, sense of distance, depth of distance, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep it at 40 and try and calculate, obviously.
Yes, really 40 is just a suggestion. Feel free to send me also some pictures while the car's been stationary on the track or whatever. I'm trying to help you as good as I can, but with 150 away from the screen, 55 is certainly way too far.
Okay.
Yep, at least that would be it from my side. You have any more questions?
No, I don't. I will
Okay.
send you pictures so you see how it looks.
Okay, I will come back on you then on the pictures.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Then best of luck for the Baku race on Sunday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, guys, that was a 2-hour coaching session here with Alay in Baku with the Formula Pro car. We made a small little bit of progress when it comes to driving lap time. We did low 46s in the session last Wednesday. Now we're at 46.0. His virtual best lap time is a 45.604. It was a 45.8 last week, so a little bit of improvement. And you still see though that there's a lot more potential yet to come. Remember, the first sector is 45 seconds worth alone. First 3 or 4 turns sometimes have been really good, and 4, 5, 6 has not been so good. So I think he surely is able to do low 45s there. It's all about chaining it together. It's all about getting these lines together. And I think, as we figured out, field of view might be a very important factor in that issue that he may have suffered from lately. It really just caught my attention from watching his Instagram reels and be like, hey, wait a minute, that looks a bit off. Like, as you said, 50 is way too far. 55, that's almost a small shocking number. Like, remember, if I would be that far back on the screen of, like, I think I had, like, would have had 15, maybe 20 degrees of field on view, and that is even on a, you know what, I quickly have a look. I'm curious as in what this would mean if I would be on that on my normal screen. Let me quickly check that. So there is calc of calculator. So I'm on a 32 to 9. I can quickly show you that screen as 49 inch. My distance currently is 70. I have curved screens. That should be 31. Yeah. If I go up to 150, vertical field of view is 13. So I think 40 is still way too huge. You have to imagine though, I have that big screen and he has obviously screens like this. So his screens, maybe I can, no, I don't have any internet really on that machine. So I can't really show you, but like he has a cockpit, his screens will end at the very back end here on both sides. So of course he wouldn't have 13, but maybe 25 to 30 degrees. 40 would probably at least be a step into the right direction. Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this live stream for the subs and YouTube sponsors only. Of course, guys have appreciated the coaching itself, as it is at some point obviously accessible on the YouTube channel for non-subscribers only. Also, then please give the video a like, subscribe us on the YouTube channel. Feel free to become a sponsor or a member here on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch, subscribe us on the Twitch channel for accessing this type of stream next time. And for everyone else, guys, thank you so much for watching.